Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपीकांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। तो श्री राधे गोविंद भगवान की
जय।
श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा तरुण।
Hare Krishna Gajendra. Hare Krishna everyone.
हरे कृष्णा तरुण जी। हरे कृष्णा।
Namaste Anil ji.
नमस्ते।
राइट, तो कल हम लोग श्लोक 16 पढ़ रहे थे एंड जैसे ही भगवान वासुदेव ध्रुव महाराज को दर्शन देते हैं एंड फिर ध्रुव महाराज is paying his obeisances onto Lord Vasudev and is glorifying him. तो जो लास्ट श्लोक हम लोग पढ़ रहे थे उसमें ध्रुव महाराज कह रहे हैं, My dear Lord, in your impersonal manifestation of Brahma, there are always two opposing elements, knowledge and ignorance. Your multi-energies are continually manifest, but the impersonal Brahma, which is undivided, original, changeless, unlimited, and blissful, is the cause of the material manifestation. Because you are the same impersonal Brahma, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Yeah. So he's saying, which is undivided, original, right? It says, Vishwa Bhavam Ekam Anantam Adhyam. Yeah, unlimited, and Adhyam is the original, Ananda Matra, yeah, and Avikaram. So, Aham Prapadhe. Aham Prapadhe is I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So, like this, Dhruv Maharaj is continuously praying to Lord Vasudeva. Yeah. And let's just read this first part, Tarun.
In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the unlimited impersonal Brahman is the effulgence of the transcendental body of Govinda. In that unlimited effulgent aura of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are innumerable universes with innumerable planets of different categories. Although the Supreme Person is the original cause of all causes, his impersonal effulgence, known as Brahman, is the immediate cause of the material manifestation. Dhruv Maharaj, therefore, offered his respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. One who realizes this impersonal feature can enjoy the unchangeable Brahmananda, described here as spiritual bliss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. The Brahma Samhita, which is a prayer of Lord Brahma, it is mentioned that impersonal Brahma is the effulgence of the transcendental body of Govind. Yeah. Of Lord Govind. Anil ji?
जी हाँ। सत्याशिषो हि भगवंस्तव पाद पद्म माशीस्तथानुभजतः पुरुषार्थ मूर्ते अप्येवमर्य भगवान परिपाति दीनान् माश्रेव वत्स कमुन् नुग्रह कातरोस्मान My Lord, O Supreme Lord, you are the supreme personified form of all benediction. Therefore, for one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom. That is the benediction of worshipping your lotus feet. To ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer, just like a cow who takes care of the newly born calf by supplying milk and giving its protection from attack. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what Dhruv Maharaj is saying is one who abides in your devotional service with no other desire, worshipping your lotus feet, is better than becoming king and lording it over a kingdom, right? Because if you remember, when Dhruv Maharaj started, that was the wish he had. Yeah. But then he's saying that to ignorant devotees like me, you are the causelessly merciful maintainer. Yeah. So even though he had the desire to lord it over a kingdom, Dhruv Maharaj is still saying that you are the one who is the merciful maintainer. Yeah. And actually it has a very long purport, but I think this one is pretty good. Let's read this, Ajay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The Lord is addressed herein by Dhruv Maharaj as Purusharth Murti, the ultimate goal of life. Generally, Purusharth is taken a mean execution of type of religion people or worship the God in order to get material benedictions. Prayers for material benedictions are intended for satisfying the senses. And when one is frustrated and cannot fully satisfy the sense in spite of all endeavors, he desires liberation or freedom from material existence. These activities are generally called Purusharth, but actually the ultimate goal is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called Panchkama Purusharth, the ultimate goal of life. Lord Chaitanya therefore taught us not to ask for Supreme Personality any benediction such as material wealth, popularity, or a good life. One should simply pray to the Lord to be constantly engaged in his transcendental loving service. Dhruv Maharaj, being cognizant of his desire for material benefit, wanted protection from Lord so that he might not be misled or deviated from the path of devotion service by material desires. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? Maitre Vacha Kathabhistu tu evam ve Satsang kalpena dhimata Nityanurakto Bhagavana Kati Nandadam Bravita. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidur, when Dhruv Maharaj, who had good intentions in his heart, finished his prayer, the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees and servants, congratulated him, speaking as follows. Yeah, so after Dhruv Maharaj prayed to Lord Vasudev, then Supreme Lord started speaking. Yeah, so now we'll see what Lord Krishna is saying. So Tarun.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Vedaham te Vasintam Rudi Rajanya Balak Tatpraya Shami Bradam te Durapampi Subrata. The personality of Godhead said, my dear Dhruva, son of the king, you have executed pious vows, and I also know the desire within your heart. Although your desire is very ambitious and very difficult to fulfill, I shall favor you with its fulfillment. All good fortune unto you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Bhagavan knows the desire in Dhruv Maharaj's heart, and he said he is going to fulfill this. So I read this, Anilji.
Yeah. The Lord assured Dhruv Maharaj that Dhruv would not be bereft of the Lord's love. He encouraged Dhruv not to be worried that the childishly had material desire and at the same time had the pure aspiration to be a great devotee. Generally, the Lord does not award a pure devotee material opulence, even though he may desire it. But Dhruv Maharaj, this case was different. The Lord knew that he was such a great devotee that in spite of having material opulence, he would never be deviated from love of God. This example illustrates that a highly qualified devotee can have the facility of material enjoyment and at the same time execute love of God. This, however, was a special case for Dhruv Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Ajay.
Sure. Nanya radhishtitam bhadra yad bhrajishnu dhruvachiti yatra griha shartarana jyotisha chakramahitam mekya goch vakrat sthanu parastya kalpa navisanam dharmo agni kashyapa shukro munyo ye vanokasah charanti dakshini kritya brahmanto yatsattarka. The Supreme Personality of Godhead continued, My dear Dhruv, I shall award you the glowing planet known as the pole star, which will continue to exist even after the dissolution at the end of the millennium. No one has ever ruled this planet, which is surrounded by all solar system, planets, and stars. All the luminaries in the sky circumambulate this planet, just as bulls tread around a central pole for the purpose of crushing grains. Keeping the pole star to their right, all the stars inhabited by the great sages like Dharma, Agni, Kashyap, and Shukra circumambulate the planet, which continues to exist even after the dissolution of all others. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Lord Vasudeva even awards him the glowing planet known as the pole star, right? Or Dhruv Tara, right? As we know that. Dhruv Tara, and the Dhruv Tara so was already existing, right? And that is awarded to Dhruv Maharaj. And it says that is the one surrounded by all solar systems, planet and stars, right? Yeah. It says Yatra Grahaksha Tara Nam Jyotisham Chakramahitam. Yeah. You're saying something, Ajay?
No. Sorry, my dog is sitting here. So.
So that is a Dhruv Tara. Yeah. And actually nice purport. So let's read this. Tarun.
Although the pole star existed before its occupation by Dhruva Maharaj, it had no predominating deity. Dhruva Loka, or pole star, is the center for all other stars and solar systems. For all of them circle around Dhruva Loka just as a bull crushes grains by walking around and around a central pole. Dhruva wanted the best of all planets, and although it was a childish prayer, the Lord satisfied his demand. A small child may demand something from his father which his father has never given to anyone else. Yet out of affection, the father offers it to the child. Similarly, this unique planet, Dhruva Loka, was offered to Maharaj Dhruva. The specific significance of this planet is that until the entire universe is annihilated, this planet will remain even during the devastation which takes place during the night of Lord Brahma. There are two kinds of dissolutions, one during the night of Lord Brahma and one at the end of the Lord Brahma's life. At the end of Brahma's life, selected personalities go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Dhruv Tara still stays even at the time of dissolution. Yeah. the dissolution which happens at the night of Lord Brahma, right? As we know, you remember, right? 1 day of Lord Brahma is how long? Yeah, 1 day of Lord Brahma.
Yeah.
4
360.
trillion years or something.
Right, 4,032,000,000 years, yeah.
Yeah.
And that is as long as, I mean, the same is his night as well. Yeah, so 8,064,000,000 is the total day and night. But what happens is after 1 day of Lord Brahma, and if you remember, in 1 day of Lord Brahma, there are, I think, 12 Manus which appears, right? But anyways, after 1 day of Lord Brahma, there is a total dissolution of the universe. Yeah. But even during that time, Dhruv Tara still remains, is what is being mentioned here. And at the end of the Lord Brahma's life, and we know how long is Lord Brahma's age?
Yeah. 300 trillion years or something.
Right, 300 trillion years plus, yeah. At the end of that, what happens is selected personalities go back home, back to Godhead. So like Dhruv Maharaj, yeah, goes back to Godhead. Yeah, says here Dhruv Maharaj is one of them. Yeah, let's continue to read, Anilji.
The Lord assured Dhruv that he would exist beyond the partial resolution of this universe. Thus, at the end of the complete resolution, Dhruv Maharaj would go directly to Vaikuntha Lok, to a spiritual planet in the spiritual sky. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur comments in this connection that Dhruv Lok is one of the lokas like Shwetadvip, Mathura, and Dwarka. They are all eternal places in the kingdom of the Godhead, which is described in the Bhagavad Gita and the Dharma Paramam, and in the Vedas, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam. Padam Sada Pashanti Suraya. The words Parastar, Kalpa, Vachinam, transcendental to the planets inhabited after the dissolution, refer to the Vaikuntha planets. In other words, Maharaj's promotion to the Vaikuntha Lok was guaranteed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So that is the Dhruv Tara. Yeah. Tarun?
प्रष्ठिते तु वनं पित्र दत्वागम धर्म संस्रः सत्त्रिंशत् वर्ष सहस्राणां रक्षिता व्याहतेन्द्रियः. After your father goes to the forest and awards you the rule of his kingdom, you will rule continuously the entire world for 36,000 years. And all your senses will continue to be as strong as they are now. You will never become old. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So here, Bhagavan says that you will be ruling for Shat Trinshad Varsha Sahastram, 1036. So it says that 36,000 years is he will be ruling continuously. Yeah. And in Satyug, as we know, it mentions here, in Satyug, people generally live for 100,000 years. Yeah, we know that, 100,000 years. And Dhruv Maharaj's ruling the world for 36,000 years was quite possible in those days. Yeah, so because there was Satyug. Yeah. Anilju?
Yeah. Tvad Bhratur Yattame Naste Mrigayam Tu Tanmanaha Anveshanti Vanam Mata Davagnim Sa Pravekshati. The Lord continued, sometime in the future, your brother Uttam will go hunting in the forest, and while absorbed in hunting, he will be killed. Your mother, Suruchi, being maddened upon the death of her son, will go to search him out in the forest, but she will be devoured by a forest fire. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So then Lord Vasudeva is telling him what is going to happen. Yeah. Ajay?
Ishtva ma yaga yagya hridayam yajay yagyai pushkal dakshana bhuktva chihashisha satya ante ma sansmirashyasi. The Lord continued, I am at the heart of all sacrifices. You will be able to perform many great sacrifices and also give great charities. In this way, you will be able to enjoy the blessings of material happiness in this life, and at the time of your death, you will be able to remember me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. So to Dhruv Maharaj, Bhagavan Vishnu is saying that I am the heart of all sacrifices. Yeah, it says here, Mam Yagyaridhyam Yagya hai. And then also he's saying that Satya Ante Mam Samansyasi Yashyasi. Yeah. Like at the time of death, you will be able to remember me. And what happens when one remembers Lord at the time of death? They go back to Godhead, yeah, Vaikuntha Lok. Tato gantasi matasthanam sarvaloka namaskritam uparishtadrisibhestvam yato narvartate gate. The personality of Godhead continued, my dear Dhruv, after your material life in this body, you will go to my planet, which is always offered obeisances by the residents of all other planetary systems. It is situated above the planets of the 7 rishis, and having gone there, you will never have to come back again to this material world. Yeah. So that's the boon which Lord Vishnu is giving to Dhruv Maharaj. Yeah. Arun?
Maitre vacha ityachirtata sa bhagwan natidishya yatmanah padmam balasya pasyato dham swamaga ganga rudra dhvajah. The great sage Maitreya said, after being worshipped and honored by the boy Dhruv Maharaj, and after him offering him his abode, Lord Vishnu on the back of Garuda returned to his abode as Dhruv Maharaj looked down. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Lord Vishnu on the back of Garud returns back to his abode. Yeah. Says that from this verse it appears that Lord Vishnu awarded Dhruv Maharaj the same abode in which he resides. His abode is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dharma paramam mama. Ajay?
Suapi sankalpajam Vishnu pad seva pasaditam prapis sankalp nirvanam nati prito abhya gatpuram. Despite having achieved the desired result of his determination by worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, Dhruv Maharaj was not very pleased. Thus he returned to his home. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Vishnu pad seva pasaditam, worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, but then still he was not very pleased. And then he returns home. Anilji?
Vidura uvacha sudurlabham yat param padam hare harer maya vinascha nast charanarchan chanarjitam labdhvapya siddhartha mivaik janmana katham samatman mamanyatartha vita. Sri Vidur inquired, my dear Brahman, The abode of the Lord is very difficult to attain. It can be attained only by pure devotional service, which alone pleases the most affectionate, merciful Lord. Dhruv Maharaj achieved this position even in one life, and he was very wise and conscientious. Why then was he not very pleased? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Dhruv Maharaj is inquiring, and inquiring from whom? Vidur Maharaj, sorry.
Maitreya Muni.
Maitreya Muni. Yeah. As we know, Maitreya Muni is speaking to Vidur, Mahatma Vidur. So he's saying that, my dear Brahman, that is Maitreya Muni, of course, the abode of Lord is very difficult to attain. Yeah. Sudurlabham yat paramam padam hare. Yeah. The abode of the Lord is like Sudurlabham, very difficult to attain. And it can be only attained by pure devotional service, right? Which alone pleases the most affectionate. So, even though Dhruv Maharaj achieved that in his life, why was he not very pleased? Is the question which Mahatma Vidu is asking Maitreya Muni. Yeah. And then Maitreya Muni is responding. Anilji.
Maitreya Uvacha Matustapatnya Bhagavane Hriday Vidhustu Tan Smarana Nakshan Mukti Pater Muktim Tasmat Papu Me Phamu Pheyivan. Maitreya answered, Dhruv Maharaj's heart, which was pierced by the arrows of the harsh words of his stepmother, was greatly aggrieved, and thus, when he fixed upon his goal of life, he did not forget her misbehavior. He did not demand actual liberation from this material world, but at the end of his devotional service, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before him, he was simply ashamed of the material demands he had in his mind. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? So he started with the material demand, then he did all the tapasya, then he saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then he just felt like the best thing to do is only the devotional service. Yeah. Tarun?
Dhruvacha samadhina neka bhavena yat padam viduha sananda dayaya urdhva ritejas maser aham sadbhir amusya padayos chayam upetyasya pagatah prathan mati. Dhruv Maharaj thought to himself, to endeavor to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task, because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practiced Ashtanga Yoga in trance, attained the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many births. Within 6 months, I achieved the same result, yet due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Shiksha Babuji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, पढ़ेंगे?
अहो वर्तमानात्मयं मन्दभागस्य पश्यता भवच्छिदः पादमूलं गत्वा याचे यदन्वता. Alas, just look at me. I am so unfortunate. I approach the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can immediately cut the chain of the repetition of birth and death. But still, out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So why is Maharaj Dhruv feeling not satisfied? Because he's thinking like Mandabhagyastaya, unfortunate because he got approached the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. And what does that mean? The Lord can immediately cut the chain of repetition of birth and death. Yeah. Bhavachiddam. but still out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable, like this kingdom. Yeah. And actually, a little bit longer purpose, but nice purpose. So let's read this. Ajay?
The word Andimyan is very significant in this verse. Atma means the soul, and Antima means without any conception of the soul. Srila Rasabdev instructed his sons that unless a human being comes to the point of understanding the Atma or the spiritual position, wherever he does, whatever he does in ignorance, and this brings only defeat in his life. Dhruv Maharaj regrets his unfortunate position, for although he approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always able to give his devotees the highest benediction of the succession of repetition of birth and death, which is impossible for any demigod to offer. He foolishly wanted something perishable. When Hiranyakashipu asked immortality from Lord Brahma expressed his inability to offer such a benediction because he himself is not immoral. Therefore, immortality or complete cessation of the chain of repeated birth and death can be offered by the Supreme Personality, by the Supreme Lord, the Personality of Godhead Himself, not by others. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anilji?
Yeah. Harim Vinana Mrutam Taranti. It is said that without the blessings of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one can stop the continuous chain of birth and death within this material world. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is also called Bhavachit. The Vaishnava philosophy in the process of Krishna consciousness prohibits the devotee from all kinds of material aspirations. A Vaishnava devotee should always be Anyavilasita Sunya, free from all material aspirations or the results of fruitive activities or empiric philosophical speculation. Dhruv Maharaj was actually initiated by Narad Muni, the greatest Vaishnava, in the chanting of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This mantra is a Vishnu mantra, for by practicing the chanting of this mantra, one is elevated to the Vishnu Lok. Dhruv Maharaj regrets that although he was initiated in the Vishnu mantra by a Vaishnav, he still aspired for material benefits. That was another cause for lamentation. Although he got the result of the Vishnu mantra by the causeless mercy of the Lord, he lamented how foolish he was to have strived for material benefits while practicing devotional service. In other words, every one of us who is engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness should be completely free from all material aspirations. Otherwise, we will have to lament like Dhruv Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. And this mantra, which is a Vishnu mantra, yeah, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah, what happens? By this mantra, by practicing the chanting of this mantra, one is elevated to the Vishnu Lok. Yeah. And let's do one more shlok. Siksham Prabhu.
मति विदूषिता देवे पदगिरे सहिष्णुभिः यो नारदवच सत्यं नाग्रहि समस्ततमः. Since all the demigods who are situated in the higher planetary system will have to come down again, they are all envious of my being elevated to Vaikuntha Lok by devotional service. These tolerant demigods have dissipated my intelligence. and only for this reason could I not accept the genuine benediction of the instructions of the sage Narad. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, yo Narad Vachasthaityam Nagrahisham Satam. Basically, the Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, total devotion to Lord Vishnu, was the instruction by sage Narad. Yeah, I think we will pause here and then we will continue reading further tomorrow. Okay. Want to say anything, Shiksha Prabhu?
नहीं, अभी कुछ खाली पूछना है कि चेतन चरण प्रभु आपके पास रुके हैं क्या? अजय प्रभु बोल रहे हैं।
हाँ, अपनी बात हुई नहीं, रुके नहीं है। आई फॉरगॉट टू टेल यू, वो रुकेंगे तो पास में, बट ही विल बी हियर। हम लोग एक कीर्तन प्रोग्राम रख रहे हैं 26 अगस्त।
अच्छा,
घर में, तो ही विल कम हियर एंड ही विल बी स्पीकिंग फॉर सम टाइम।
अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ तो ही इज वेरी ग्रेट स्पीकर।
या
समटाइम उनके लिए मैं ट्रांसलेशन किया था।
अच्छा।
उनका एक बुक था माइंड इट, तो उस पूरा बुक का ट्रांसलेशन किया था। बाद में मैं बिजी हो गया। उन्होंने ये भी ऑफर किया था, पर्सनल जो सब असिस्टेंट्स के लिए भी ऑफर किया था उन्होंने।
अच्छा,
बस टाइम नहीं था तो मैंने रिग्रेट किया था।
या तो आप बोलना उनको, he will be I don't know if he knows or not, but या उनका स्केड्यूल बना दिया है 26 अगस्त he will be here. So generally we keep kirtan like once in a year for like 5-6 hours continuous. तो इस साल अभी उसी दिन रखा था and then he was coming here, तो बोला चलो बेस्ट है, so he can also come and speak. तो
बहुत जबरदस्त अवसर है
हाँ
उनको सुनना, स्पेशली उनका टॉक।
हाँ
मेरा 3-4 साल हो गया उनसे मिल नहीं पाया, लॉकडाउन के बाद से मिल ही नहीं पाया। बीच में एक बार मैसेज से बात हुआ था थोड़ा सा।
अच्छा,
तो
I see. So Tarun, Anil ji and Ajay, you know 26th अगस्त कीर्तन है जो मैंने डाला था पोस्टर उस पे भी। You know if you can make it, राले तो अजय तो यहाँ पे ही है। तरुण ट्राई करो if you can।
कोशिश तो करेंगे।
हाँ,
आगे
आपके
प्रभु
बाजू में से फ्रंटियर लगती है।
या हमें तो किसी की 80th बर्थडे पे जाना है
कभी उसी दिन
या 26 का सैटरडे है ना,
फ्राइडे है उस दिन। 26 इज फ्राइडे।
26 फ्राइडे 26 को ही जाना है।
अच्छा, या बट देखना तरुण if you can, and Ajay you are here only, so you are okay right? 26 August?
Yeah.
Yeah, तो या मिलेंगे प्रभु जी, थोड़ा फोटो वीडियो वगैरह लेंगे तो विल पोस्ट शिक्षा प्रभु जी, no? But it will be nice, I think. Yeah, all the devotees will come, all great kirtan leaders will come, and you know, last 2 years we have been doing it on Zoom because we couldn't do it in person, COVID की वजह से. So this will be like after 2 years now. Almost we're doing this. All right, so cool, and अभी अपन कीर्तन सुनते हैं, and you know, we'll, as we just saw, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya by Dhruv Maharaj, Narad Muni gave that mantra. We'll hear that. It's around 6 minutes, and then we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vasudevaya.
Nice. So we'll continue to hear Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. Doing Dhruv Maharaj's devotional service. And then we'll see you tomorrow again at 10 p.m. Yeah. 7:30 Indian time in the morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Good night.